Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of TGP1. We're here under the night sky in Monaco. What a privilege we all have to be here at such a spectacular location in such spectacular circumstances. So tonight the agenda is as follows. Race 1 is here at Monaco, race 2 in Hungary, and we can't wait for both races to get underway. Let's have a little recap of how things have been so far this season. And, well, after the first 4 rounds, it's Odems who heads the title, 17 points clear of his nearest rival, Jonas, who similarly is 17 points clear of Phil back in third. So big gaps at the moment between the top 3, but that could all change in a heartbeat. All it takes is one good race for one person, and a little bit of a struggle for another, and we could see a massive turnaround. So last week we had Odems winning his second race in TGP1 and only his third attempt, with a fantastic performance that he put in around Brazil and held off the charges of the likes of Matt and Silent Assassin to claim a fantastic victory. Race 2 in Mexico threw up a whole load of surprises. It was a wet race that we had, as it was sort of an in-between point between the dries and intermediates, where drivers didn't really know what tyres to be on. But at turn 1 at least, it seemed like it shouldn't have been the dries, as most drivers ended up going wide. It was just Paga who found himself on track and early on in the race took a good advantage, but reigning champion Jake came back at him pretty quickly and was our eventual winner, with a great performance from him taking the win and a fantastic comeback from Odems joining him on the podium. Making a comeback this week, we have Jamie. He missed last week and he'll be very keen to make a big impression. Fallen quite a bit now down the championship order. He lies in 11th, despite putting in 2 very decent performances in week 1. He'll want to come round and sort that out as soon as possible. So we'll have a rundown of the constructors as well, as it's very tight in there. 2 teams at the moment running away. Renault on 94 points. John and Matt, who made his first appearance with us last week, putting in 2 fantastic performances, 2 podiums for him, and Haas with Odems. And a surprise has come about with Alex Coates joining us tonight, which is fantastic news, as he makes up the other spot in Haas, and he's going to want to get some points on the board to help his teammate in the pursuit of the Constructors' Championship. So that's the standings. Obviously, as we all know by now, the point system that we run in TGP1, very unique system, with points going down to as low as 14th, with the top 5 being as they were, and then running from 9 down to 1 for the rest of the points paying positions. So Monaco then, our last pole position here was Softy last season with a 1 minute 10.9, so we've already gone under that, where Jamie has already gone nearly a second quicker than anyone else. He was feeling very confident for this race, and he's going to want to definitely put his championship bid back on cloud 9, and he's done exactly what he needs to so far, at least, as Alex Coates. The other Haas, as we mentioned, has managed to end his qualifying early. But, so we have a look at the previous winners, well, at least in the PS4 era, at least. Softy's won here twice. He's not making it tonight, unfortunately, so it's just the one Taro Rosso out there in Jack Pearson. And Chris Thurgood won here once. Ritson, who has had a disappointing start to the season so far, has also run here. Bullet and Will has won here before. And our last podium here last season in the wet was Softy, Owen and Jake. Owen, as you can see, having a great qualifying so far, up in 5th. Very tight at the moment between 2nd and 6th, and then a bit of a gap down to Jack. So for the last 3 minutes then, we tick 3 minutes left to go. Let's have a little run down of the order. So Jamie, as we mentioned, in pole, and a 1 minute 10.8, absolutely blistering pace for the Mercedes driver. Second, James O'Connor making an appearance back towards the top of the timing screens, in 2nd at the moment. Jonas in 3rd, so 2 old boys at the moment occupying 2nd and 3rd. Odems, championship leader, in 4th. Owen, as I'm watching now on track, is in 5th. I think he's on a lap at the moment as well. Phil Bardwell, his teammate, currently sits 6th. Jack Pearson on a lap in 7th. Martin in 8th, who's also had a very good start to the season. And then we've got Chiapelli in 9th. Paul McGuinness in the Ferrari in 10th. And returning Demon Ash, good to see him back with us for tonight. He's currently in 11th, but want to improve in time. And there's 3 drivers at the moment. Time's not on the board, but a big story is Jonas just finished what will be his final flying lap, puts himself back up into 2nd. Still some 7 tenths off, well, make that 8 tenths as Jamie goes even quicker. Fantastic lap from him, and that's going to be his qualifying over as well. So 2 blistering times there back to back. We've got James O'Connor out there on a lap at the moment as well. Let's see if he can improve. Ritson's dropped up into 7th, and I don't think we've had any other movement apart from that so far. So let's watch James O'Connor then through sector 2. He's quite heavily... Oh, and he's hit the wall, and... Oh, dear. That's going to be some damage, I think, but he was heavily down in his time, so this one's not going to be an improvement. Let's watch Odems then, coming into La Rascasse. James actually pulls off into pits, so that's his qualifying done. Where's Odems? Where's this lap going to put him? He's going to want to climb up the order a bit. The current championship leader goes... Pole! Wow, that's come out the bag. He wasn't feeling confident coming into tonight's races, but after that, he's going to be pretty happy indeed, as Matt pops up into 3rd as well. So now we've got 3 drivers in the 1 minute 10s, which is fantastic news. As hopefully now we can have a nice tight battle. Obviously, very difficult to overtake around here. Ritson's not going any quicker than 8th. He's going to end up on a 12.1. I'm watching Matt at the moment now, just coming to the end of sector 1. He's 600ths down in his personal best. Could he still get pole? Odems is still out there as well. He's going to try and improve on his lap, and he was a 10th up in sector 1. What's he going to do in sector 2? Let's watch Odems. He's closest to the end of the lap. Lovely through the chicane, nice and tidy, a little bit squirrely on the exit. Up to back, really tricky left-hand turn where it's easy to understeer wide. Through swimming pool now, and he's 3 tenths up on his personal best. This is going to be a blinding lap from Odems. Skims the wall a little bit on the outside there. Into La Rascasse. Dom Smith's ending up 14th at best. Round the final corner now, and the tricky acceleration point, and up to the line. Odems is going to smash it and does a 1 minute 10.1. What a fantastic... James, as we said, is not going to go quicker than 5th. Owen has finished his time 6th. He's not going any quicker than that. We've got Martin out there on a lap at the moment. Jack Pearson on a lap. He's 4 tenths up on his personal best, but has spinned it at the last corner. Demon Ash is on there a lap as well. Let's see if he's going to improve in the McLaren. Stepping in to replace the injured Silent Assassin. Go with that. Up to the line, then Demon Ash is going to improve on a 13.7. Yes, he does. A 13.0 puts him straight into 12th. Now we just wait on Martin, who is 800ths down in his personal best. At the moment, he's not improving on 9th. And he's made a mistake and in the wall. Oh, the Mercedes driver is not going to get anywhere near his teammate who's occupying the front row. So, that is the first qualifying done then for the nighttime Monaco Grand Prix. Let's have a run down of the audience. So Odems takes a fantastic pole position, half a second clearer than anyone else. It looked like it was going to be close for a second. Jamie joins him on the front row. Matt in 3rd. Good performance from him in the Renault. It's an all-Renault 2nd row with Jonas in 4th. James is going to be 5th in the Williams. That's his best qualifying performance of the year so far. Owen is in 6th and Phil then in 7th. So 2 Red Bulls line astern. Ritson in 8th in the highest place Force India with Jake not being here. 9th is Martin. Jack Pearson rounds out the top 10, and then we've got Paul, Ash, Chiapelli, Dom, and then Alex. So we've got a Haas at the front and a Haas at the back, but I don't think Alex could give a rat's Haas about that. Skip. Some live thoughts on what they're feeling during the race, which is always good to hear. But for the first time then in Monaco in TGP, we have a night race. And at the moment at least, it's going to stay dry. So we have 2 lights, 3, 4, 5 lights in TGP1 season 29, round 5. Is underway, and it's a good start from the front too. Matt doesn't get a bad deal away as well. We had a sliding Red Bull in the background. Matt's up the inside of Jamie as Jamie runs right, he's in the wall. Oh, disaster for the Mercedes driver as Odoms pulls clear. Matt's in second, but nearly a second off already. It's a dream start for the Haas driver. Then Matt in second. Jonas is up to third, and we've got a car off in the background, have we? There's bits of debris flying everywhere. I think most of them have got through okay. And Jamie is dropping like a stone. He's down to 8th, and he's pulling off. And is that race over for the Mercedes driver? No, it's not. He's just outbraked himself. Doing a Nico Rosberg there and reversing back onto the track. Jonas then into third. Owens had a great start into fourth. James has stayed where he was in 5th. Then we have Phil Bardwell 6th, Jack Pearson 7th, Ritson stayed where he is in 8th. Paul, good start from him, up to 9th. Martin down in 10th. Demon Ash is 11th. Dom Smith 12th. Now that's Alex in 13th. And Chiapelli's lost quite a lot of time as well, down in 14th, but not as much as Jamie, as we have already a 2-second gap between the two Renaults, as Odems and Matt pull well clear, and Owen is in prime position to take another podium in Monaco if he can just find a way around the widest Renault in the streets of Monte Carlo. The end of lap 1 then. Odems leads from 1.1 seconds. Jonas a further 2 seconds back in third. Owen just half a second off Jonas in 4th. James comes in 5th. Phil Bardwell 6th. Jack Pearson 7th. Ritson stays where he was in 8th. Paul McGuinness in 9th, and Martin rounds out the top 10 as we are, and Alex Coates has already made his way up to 11th thanks to 3 drivers, including Dom Smith, Demon Ash, and of course the unfortunate Jamie having to box. But the big battle on track at the moment is this one between Owen and Jonas. Owen very confident round this track. Jonas, of course, a previous winner here, but it's going to, twice actually, previous winner here, but it's going to want to hold on to this third with all his might to stop the man who's currently leading, pulling away even further in the championship. I'll tell you what, Matt has closed the gap down to 7/10, or he did at least, coming through the chicane section. So it's not going to want the Haas driver to get too far away, as it definitely seems we've got 2 races going on already after just a lap and a half, as Jonas gets very close to the wall there. Don't think he touched it, but obviously the driver's constantly battling with the wall. As Owen clipped the wall in the background, they're constantly just fighting with the wall, really. To try and make sure they don't receive any damage, as Odems did set another fastest lap of the race before Matt takes that back, as the race just starts to settle down and comes to the end of lap 2, and Chiapelli's got ahead of Alex in the background. They're further down for the battle of 11th, so a good fight going on there. As we said, the race just starts to relax a little bit now. Drivers will try and find a bit of a rhythm as they tackle not just the difficulties of this tricky street circuit, but the nighttime conditions make visibility just a little bit harder and a little bit better for the spectators. Owen runs a little bit wide there at the tricky tight left-handed hairpin, and that allows James to get over his back a little bit more. But it's definitely these 4 at the moment, with Phil joining this little battle for third, who could all end up joining, at the moment at least, Odems and Matt on the podium.
Yeah, I've got damage at turn 1. Jamie hit the wall, bounced across into my car, I had nowhere to go, broke part of my wing.
As we heard on the team radio there, Jonas did receive some damage thanks to the turn 1 incident for Jamie, and that's probably why he's struggling a bit. And Owen would have heard that, or at least Red Bull surely would have heard that over the team radio. And Owen's going to want to dispatch of him now as soon as possible to maybe try and have a run at the top 2. Is the gap now between them is just 7/10 of a second, so another good lap from Matt, as Odem's got damage maybe, because Matt is all over him looking for his first win in TGP1. The gap's just half a second now, so is Odem's just playing it cautious, or has he really got some damage? Because Matt is closing on him like nothing else, and he has got some damage. Odems is missing half his front wing.
Oh, bollocks.
Oh, and Owen's in the wall, was he? Oh, he might have just about missed it, as Phil nearly ends up in the wall trying to avoid Owen. I'm trying to look at Owen. He has got some damage on the front wing there, and that's allowed James to get through to now have a run on Jonas. As back to the leaders then, Matt is going to want to take advantage of the damage to Odems' Haas. And will we have to see Odems even pit? What a disaster that would be. It's all go at the moment in the race. Jamie's made his way up to 13th already, so a not bad comeback from him. Now Jack did have to pit in the squabble, but it's just 2 attempts to separate the top 2, as Odems is struggling. Matt is going to want to make sure he doesn't take too many risks trying to hassle the back of the Haas. See what I did there?
Where are the blue flags? Where are the blue flags?
There's no blue flags as Dom Smith gets out of the way for John Luke Taylor. I tell you what, James hasn't quite closed up to the back of the Renault as quickly as I thought he would. So be interesting to watch that as the race develops. As Dom Smith clips the wall, and it's just a tenth separating the top two. A little mistake there for Matt, though. He's going to want to cut that out, and for sure not get any damage himself. At the moment, he's poised brilliantly, because during the stops, you've got to say that Odems will change that wing. He's struggling a lot at the moment as Matt clambers the curb into the hairpin, and the Red Bulls are still battling as well. Well, Phil is, and Owen did pit. Owen unfortunately had to pit during that little melee, and he comes out on the set of the super soft tyres. Still interestingly ahead of Jamie, so that's really cost him a lot, that lap 1 incident. The field, I'd say quite well spread at the moment. We've got a few, as I said, on-track battles. Phil's dropping back a bit from the battle for third, so it's turned into a little bit of a two-horse race. And let's see who's doing well so far. Jack Pearson is up 4 places from where he started. He's not going to want me commentating on him, because normally when I do, he has an incident. So keep it clean, Jack. Ritson, though, is when I want to keep him honest in his very bright and brash helmet. As Dom Smith clearly gets out the way there, doesn't want to hold anyone up, but he has got some front wing damage as well. The Sauber driver already a lap down and not getting much better, as we've got Phil Bargewell in the pits. An early call for the super soft tyres. And where's that going to put Phil out in relation to his teammate? I think he'll be comfortably ahead of Owen, so he's going to be in a nice little pocket of space, is Phil Bargewell. So keep an eye out for him. He'll be able to pump in some good laps. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2 as Dom Smith, unfortunately, has had to give up. That's his race over. We heard a little squeal over the radio for Jack Pearson. He's got Ritson clambering all over the back of him. Runs wide a little bit, does Jack, but so does Ritson. I wonder if Ritson's got some damage. That was very wide. Now he's going to have Paul McGuinness, if he has, all over his back. Can't see anything so far. And they all take some very dubious lines through that chicane. We've got a fantastic aerial shot going on at the moment now. We can watch them through to back. We can watch Ritson actually clip the wall through to back. It's very privileged. And through swimming pool they come then. Another dubious line from Ritson, as I say. I want to watch those. Jack Pearson runs wide into Larasgas and pits, as does Ritson. Now it's going to be a battle of the teams. We've also got James in the pits as well. Will anyone else choose to come in?
I've got a broken front wing.
Jack and Ritson are both changing their front wings. So it's still a pit stop war. Who's quicker at changing a front wing then? Who's your money on? Ritson leaves his box. What about Jack? He leaves his box as well. So it's as they were. Phil Bargewell is going to comfortably get ahead of these two. And maybe James. No, maybe not James. No, forget that. But Jack Pearson does come out ahead of Ritson. Owen has stayed ahead of the both of them. Chiapelli is about to come up to some serious pressure from the front row starter of James. Chiapelli actually makes a little mistake in turn 1. I hope we didn't put him off there. But into Casino they come, and Jamie has to look up the inside. That's not going to work. The Sauber driver holding on for his life, and he quite fancies a Ferrari move, I hear, at the moment, with the outgoing Paga and a fallen out Maurizio or even Benny already. I heard it because it was over Paul McGuinness. As Paga seems very reluctant to let Paul through, and Matt's in the pits. So then, the Renault mechanics are called into work. He's going to try the undercut, and I think if he hasn't got damage, which he actually has, James is... No, James is gone. Oh, he was running so well. And Paul's pitted as well. Matt then coming out of the pits on the super soft. Where's he going to come out in relation to everyone else? He's in a fantastic little bit of space. He's now got the chance to get the hammer down and put some pressure on Odems, who's just coming out of sector 1 into the tricky hairpin. We're surely going to see the Haas driver come to the pits this lap. We've still got Johners out there with his damaged front wing in second. Martin's up to third thanks to stops. Paul McGuinness has got a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Disaster for Paul. James is back, which is good news. The Williams driver, who was running a good race. Phil Bargewell doing a good race as well. He's up to what I believe would be a net third at the moment. Depends where Johners comes out on his box, I guess. But let's keep an eye on Oden. See the Haas driver dive into the pits. We got Owen, who's also made it past James, as well as Jack. I don't know what's happened to James. Maybe rejoining. No, he's fine at the moment. Still just rejoining. Let's watch Odems. He does pit. So the Haas mechanics, a bit of a drama at the moment, as Martin has had a bit of trouble as well. Is he? No, we just saw him go off. But Jonas is coming to the pits as well. So both mechanics being called into action, and they don't change his front wing. Matt is just coming out of Larascas now. And where's Odem's going to be? He's just filtering back onto the racetrack. And Matt, he's not going to do it, as Odem's will still be in the net lead. It looks from my screen like Matt has picked up some damage. So that's not what he would have wanted, or was that when he pitted maybe? But, so if so, the two people fighting for the lead, the net lead at the moment is Martin in the lead, but he still has to stop. As Creams from Owen, I don't know what's happened to him.
John and Paul have made contact.
As we hear John and Paul have made contact, and Jonas has got some damage to his front wing, but Jonas, did you change your front wing in the stops?
Yeah, I did. I fucked it up coming out of the pit, spun it up and went into Paul's path, so it's entirely my fault. I tried to come out ahead and just dropped it, and it came out right in front, so my wing's even more fucked.
Oh, and Jonas runs wide at the hairpin as well. It's from bad to worse from the man from Harlow. And now we've got a Red Bull of Owen Quimby. He's going to want to make up for his early mistake and get straight back past the Renault driver. We'll go on board with him as they come up to the chicane. The net front two are still separated by 4 tenths. So he's going to try at the inside. It's a bit of a late lunge, and it's not going to be on from there. He tried to lick the stamp and send it, but the post office was closed.
Phil's in the war as well, we'll look at it.
Phil Bargewell is in the war and has lost a front wing. Disaster for the Red Bull driver, and that pushes Paul McGuinness into 4th, which could still be a net 3rd, but we're going to go back to the battle for the lead because they've caught right up to Martin. And is this going to help Matt out? Oh, and he clips the back of Odems. Oh, he's lost some of his front wing. He's got even less now. Disaster. That is not what he would have wanted, and both Renaults are definitely in the wall with their front wings. Odems get a little bit squirrely coming into the tunnel, and if I was Martin now, I'd stay out. I kind of want him to. It's making this a little bit interesting. As Odems tries up the inside, and they both run off. And there's contact. Odems and Martin are off. Oh, disaster. The leading two. Odems just about keeps it going, as does Martin. But
my brakes are going.
That's made a huge effect to Odems' chance of winning. Oh, and he's getting all squirrely. His tyres are hot, obviously, from rejoining after his spin. But what happened there? I'm sure there'll be some furious words as James O'Connor is what's happening to him. Martin has chosen to stay out, actually, and from the looks of it, he has no damage, so fair play to him. But are we now going to see Odems? Oh, and Matt's made another little mistake. Surely now we'll be able to see Odems catch back up to the Renault driver, who of course has more damage, but it's one thing to catch someone around Monaco, it's another thing to pass them. Jack Pearson's in the pits. Jack, what happened? Thanks, Jack. So, let's have a look at some... We'll have to keep an eye on the front two, though, because, as I said, Odems is already catching Matt at a rate of knots. He took a second out of him just in Sector 1 alone. Martin is surely going to come out well behind Paul. So, Paul McGuinness is looking like he could be on the podium at the moment. So, I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. Maybe getting Ropaga hasn't had the desired effect for the Scotsman. Maybe it was just that little bit of tension that got him down a little bit in the first 4 rounds. But we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Let's see who that's for. Can't see any issues. James has left again, unfortunately. Oh, it's Jack Pearson, spun again. Brilliant. Well done, Jack. You've damaged your front wing you've just put on. And twat of the day has got to go to you there. Martin has now pitted, gone on the super soft side, and he's going to come out. He's going to come out well behind his teammate. His teammate, I tell you what, has done well to get back up to 7. And a minute is going to want to be starting to challenge the Force India of Ritson, and maybe even Owen if he gets a chance. Jonas, in fairness to him, is doing a grand job with the damaged front wing he's got, and it could have been so much different. Owen has clipped the wall again and lost a lot of time. Ritson's going to have a little look at the inside. Has he got damaged front wing? Yes, he has. That's gone to... Oh, and Ritson hits the back of him. And Jamie nearly hits the back of Ritson. And Ritson... Oh, he's lost the position to Jamie. What happened there? I just caught the end of that. But it seemed like Ritson just didn't expect Owen to quite cock up that hairpin as badly as he did. And he's been punished as Jamie's got through. And he's climbing his way back up the order. So kudos to him so far. We've got a yellow flag against... I think Jack Pearson spent more time in the pits than he has out on track at the moment. So we've got another yellow flag. I think this might be for James's car. I think this is just confusing me a little. But we've got Jonathan just 4/10 of a second behind Paul with the DRS. But you know, unfortunately, that's not very effective around here. Climbing their way up towards Casino then. The lights are well and truly shining on Renault at the moment. As Jonas runs wide into Casino, and Paul just knows he has to keep it on track, not clip a wall, keep his front wing intact. And third place should be his, obviously assuming nothing terribly wrong goes wrong for the Scotsman. Jamie is pushing Owen round the hairpin, mind you. He's going to want something to happen pretty soon, and I'll tell you who isn't, and that's Owen. But surely coming into the seafront chicane, we're going to see the Mercedes driver try something at the inside. Owen goes a little bit defensive. There is a gap there. No, there isn't, as Owen makes sure there isn't. And is he going to be able to have a run into the back? Very brave. Ritson ran off in the background. It's very brave to have a move into any of these corners. We saw Owen do it into the swimming pool chicane last year, and Jamie might have to do it this year.
We've got a car off at last corner.
Ooh, we're hearing there's a car off at last corner. I can't see who that is.
It's Jack
Pearson. And oh, Jamie didn't hit him, and Ritson has. He's got some damage to his front wing, and he's definitely not going to be fighting out for 5th. But I'll tell you who is, and that's Owen, and that's Jamie. In fairness to Jamie, he's had a great recovery drive so far. It would make it even better if he can make it back into the top 5. Odems had cut the gap down to Matt by quite a bit, and it's now gone up to 5 seconds again. So I don't know what happened there, unseen by us. Ooh. But Jamie is putting... Oh, and it's a disaster for the Mercedes driver. And who's out of the race? He must have stalled it. And he was doing so well. Commentator's curse, unfortunately. Sorry, Jamie, if you're watching this. I'm sure you're not. Probably you're 80. Well, you were anyway. But the commentator's curse might have cost you there. Sorry, mate. Jonas is really struggling with that damage to his front wing.
Oh my god.
And it's pursuit of Paul. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Jack Pearson has had enough as well.
Whoa, Odems in the pits.
Odems is in the pits. So that damage to the front wing was clearly too bad. And now Paul's into 2nd.
Sorry, Paul, I'm after a Renault 1-2 here.
Sorry, I've got
and as we heard on the team radio there, we could end up with a Renault 1-2. Matt just needs to keep it on the black stuff and out of the grey walls and whatever other colour the walls are around here.
That's close.
Owen gets close to hitting another wall.
That Mac guy's got no front wing at all.
He's got very little front wing.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat.
Everyone's got half
but he
a front
knows
wing.
all he has to do is just keep it facing the right way, and the victory should be his now. His biggest challenger is down in 7th, and our championship leader is really struggling. A few too many brushes with the wall, and that's been enough, as Ritson is under huge pressure from Martin. The other Mercedes, he's going to try up the inside into the swim pool, into the seafront chicane, but can't make it done. Ritson takes the dubious line. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1, and Ash, Demon Ash.
What a surprise.
Is down, as we see Martin, unseen by me unfortunately, because I was watching Ash reversing onto track, has got up into 5th place. So one Mercedes having to pick up where the other one left off. But Jonas is still not close enough to make a move, and unfortunately at the moment that's the closest battle on track, apart from Ritson, but he's just been overtaken by a charging Mercedes.
Oh!
So let's have a word with one of the drivers. Let's pester them a little bit. Paul?
Oh, for God's sake. What?
You're having a good race so far, but at the moment you
Jonas is in the
seem
wall.
to be ruining Jonas's plans, who's just lost his front wing. Sorry, Paul, I'm going to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
As Jonas's plan of a 1-2 has gone up.
Fuck it. I've got the gap. I'm going to have to stay out.
He's got no front wing left, which would be music to Owen's ears, who's